I picked it up from where they left off and followed up on all the leads, and but they was able to get it to this part where we are.
We have finally made it. He's in custody. And now we just need to get over the last hurdle and get him convicted. I watched the news the day that the head was found, and they said on the news that it was male. And I said, okay. And it was, give the address of Avon Avenue, and I said, I thought that was on the north side of town somewhere because I'd seen an exit off 285. And I said, well, this isn't Melissa, because I watched every newscast. If anything came on any news station about a body being found, because she'd been missing 4 years. She laid in the morgue 4 years before she was identified. And that was a long, hard 4 years. I called multiple. When they said it was a female, I called multiple police departments. And I would get some firm talking to at the start of those conversations and trying to find her. And when they would find out, they would eventually say, well, this isn't your daughter. Then their tones would soften. But I don't have to watch the news anymore because we got him. He's in jail. And Lord help him, he stays there.
It's been a long wait, 25 years. But finally, hopefully, we will get justice for Melissa. She didn't deserve what she got. And I hope anybody who's in a domestic violence situation, please get out. Don't take it. Because it could easily be you. It could be your sister. It could be your mother. Make sure they get away. And I want to thank Atlanta PD, because without them, we wouldn't be here today. Cheryl McCullum, Nancy Grace, Karen Greer, everybody from Channel 2, Channel 11, thank y'all very much. Without y'all, we wouldn't be standing here.
Question. This question is for Detective Shepard. Can you go into a little bit more detail? I think you mentioned DNA evidence. Can you talk specifically what linked any kind of evidence to the suspect, and what do you think the motive was?
So let me start off with certain things, certain parts of the evidence. I want to protect the integrity of the case going forward, so I can't disclose certain evidence. But we look at everything when it comes to cold case, especially DNA. We look at witnesses that need to be re-interviewed, and it's a collective effort to build a cold case. So I don't want to point to any specific piece of evidence because it's important moving forward. Eventually, it will come out on how the case was put together, but right now I want to just kind of hold that.
Any idea about a motive?
Motive, not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's domestic violence based.
Can you talk a little bit about where he was found and where he was and his attitude when he was taken in?
Yeah, so he was captured in his home in Griffin. He hid. It took the detectives a little while to find him, and they found him, I believe, hiding behind a dryer.
And this message is for Tina. Sorry. When you spoke to 11 Alive, you mentioned the look that this gentleman had in his face from while you guys felt he was the person responsible for a long time.
Oh, yeah. From day one, we knew it was Christopher. There was never, ever any doubt in our minds who did this. My mom has said, I don't know how many times, when she first met him, there was just evil in his eyes. That is so true. If you look at a picture of Charlie Manson, you see the same thing. And it's the same thing with Christopher. And I saw his mugshot earlier, and it's still there.
And Mom, you mentioned finally you guys got here. Talk about this long process, from 1998 to now, and the feeling of satisfaction that, you know, what you knew forever is now coming to fruition?
Well, when Detective Shepard called me yesterday morning at 8:23 and told me that he was in custody, I yelled, "Thank you, Lord." And the good Lord above has gotten me through this from the first day and to this day. If it wasn't for him, it's been a hard, long road. And like I said, she laid in the morgue 4 years before I was able to bury her. And I wasn't allowed to see her kids. His mother had custody of his kids and wouldn't let us see them. But I have a relationship with the daughter now, and it's a good relationship. She was at my house this past weekend, and we were having a discussion, but we didn't know it was going to happen this fast. And she would like to be here, but she's got 3 small babies, one that she takes to and from school, so she couldn't be here today, even though she wanted to be.
Can you talk a little bit about maybe the last thing your daughter said to you about being concerned?
My last conversation with her, she called me on Thanksgiving Day in 1998, told me that she was back with Chris, and she wanted to know what I cooked for Thanksgiving, what all I cooked, and who all was there. We were all sitting around the dining room table, and she wanted to come down, and she was going to ask his mother to bring her down there. And I said, "You don't have to ask her. I'll come get you if you want to come." And anyway, the conversation went on a little bit longer, and my last words to her was, "I love you, and you know where I am if you need me."
What do you want people to remember about Melissa?
Melissa was very loving. She would do, she loved you, you would know it, definitely. And she loved her kids, and there's no way on this earth that she would have left them. Because she wanted her kids. That's why she went back to him. That's why she kept going back to him.
In all this time, had Christopher ever reached out to you guys? Had you ever spoken, either one of you spoken to Christopher?
Never,
Never.
He never reached out?
never, not once.
Did she ever reveal or hint to anyone that she was in danger from him?
I can't quite hear you.
I was wondering if she ever revealed, if anybody ever had a clue that she was in danger.
She had left him in the summer of '98, and she came to the house and she stayed with me, and we got both her kids back from Kathy. And when she went in front of the judge here in Atlanta on the domestic violence, because he had knocked her down on the sidewalk and dragged her by her hair down the sidewalk. And when he went in front of the judge, he asked the judge to let him talk to her alone, and she went back to him.
Were you afraid then?
We've been afraid for a long time,
For a long time?
for a long time.
This question is for the detectives in this case. I was looking at some old scripts. Was he ever a suspect or taken into custody? I saw something maybe 2003 he might have been taken in. Was he ever, well, he wasn't charged, but can you talk a little bit about that and if he was questioned, why he was released then?
So he was. We all have what we call person of interest, and we don't like to call them suspects. As detectives, we let the evidence guide us in the direction that we need to go. And at that time, the original detectives felt the need to interview him. But he was a person of interest from the beginning.
What next for the charges? What can you face when anything updates on that?
So he's been charged with murder. He's currently in Fulton County. And we go into the next phase, which is the district attorney's office and, of course, the court proceedings. So at this point, it's going to be in that phase.
do have one last question for the mom there. Your shirt that you're wearing, was this a shirt that you had made when she first disappeared, or is this a...
Yes, sir. It was. It was the first shirt I had made, and Fulton County had a deck of cards that was made also. And she was the king of diamonds, and this was on the card. And those cards were delivered to the jails in the prison system in hopes to get more information. But this is the first shirt I had made. And that's the second shirt.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Do you mind if we just get a picture? If you stay right there, some cameras probably want to get some video of the shirts. And you as well. Maybe you can remove the key so we can
Yeah.
get clear. Thank you so much.
The ladies turn around so they can get the back of it.
Thanks, family.
Everybody good?
Yes,
Sure.
thank you.